very good evening, and thank you so much for joining me on the weekend edition this 8th of December 2024. We are glad that you're with us as we discuss some of the headlines or some of the things that are making headlines in our country. In studio today, I'm very honored to have Father Hilary, who is the National Director of Caritas Uganda. It is a social services and charitable arm of the Catholic Church in Uganda. Well, Caritas Uganda has been a beacon of hope to so many vulnerable communities across Uganda, and now they launched the Child Care and Emergency Relief Program. They are taking bold steps to address the pressing challenges such as education and supporting basically orphan children, vulnerable children. And so today in studio, I'm here with Father Hilary, who is just going to tell us a little bit more about the recently launched program. Father Hilary, you're very welcome.
Thank you very much.
Well, you could just start by your self-introduction and your role exactly in Caritas.
Thank you very much. I'm called Father Hilary Muhezangango. I'm the National Director of Caritas Uganda. And at Caritas Uganda, we have 3 core mandates as the development, social services and development arm of the Catholic Church. The 3 core mandates: first, we have the charity, because our foundation is actually based on scripture, which actually promotes charity, and of course it is also enforced by the church teachings and also the encyclicals of the popes. That's our mission, that's what we do. 2, we are also focusing on integral human development, and here we look at the holistic development of a person, we look at the intellect, we look at the spiritual intellect aspect of the person, we look at the development aspect of the person, including economic well-being, livelihood, health, leadership and governance, and other aspects that make a human being holistic. Then the third core area is institutional capacity building. Especially we look at building community groups, associations, cooperative societies, to make sure that they get established to support the individual people to grow, but also we help them to formalize them and to adhere to the standards that any group or association or cooperative is supposed to be. But also we support so many other development institutions to build their capacities, including churches and groups of people and the other institutions that have been initiated by individuals that need to be supported so that they become vibrant and relevant to the community.
Very nice. I see there's a lot that Caritas Uganda is doing to support not just the individuals, communities in various ways. Particularly, I want us to go to the launch of the Child Care and Emergency Relief Program. Just take us through what inspired Caritas to actually come through with this program.
The inspiration of Caritas to come through with the Child Care and Emergency Relief Program came from the voices from the bishops of the Uganda Episcopal Conference, who actually identified a gap, because much as we have the element of charity within Caritas, but due to the funding, which most of it is directed to community development, there was a lax in supporting the communities, especially that have faced disasters like war, like landslides, like what is happening in Kasese, the rains that come and then the flooding comes and sweeps away homes, and similar incidents, taking care of the sick that don't have people to take care of them, the orphaned children that have no one to take care of them. Because today, from our development partners, those aspects are no longer their focus. Their focus is really on climate change, economic development, and other things. And yet, this country is still facing a lot of those calamities that need our presence. We need to be there for them. We need to support them. So when these voices came, we still have people who still go hungry, not because they are not working, but because the weather conditions they are living in cannot afford them to have the food they are supposed to have, like in Karamoja and other parts of the country. So still, much as we are doing the development work, it is not sufficing to let other people suffer as we focus on development work. So these voices prompted us to think of the alternative ways of raising funds locally, because these areas I've mentioned are very hard to explain to our external donors to understand and to fund for to raise funds for them.
Right.
So that's the reason why we came up with this, and we came up with the Child Care and Emergency Relief Program, focusing specifically on children. But of course, children cannot live alone without the families. In a way, we are focusing at the entire family, but children are our main focus because of their vulnerability, and they are the future of the nation. But also, we are focusing on the emergencies. When the emergencies occur, they don't eliminate children, adults, or whatever. But of course, children and mothers get more affected, usually because the nature of children, they are weak. They are weak children. But also the mothers are the providers at home. They are the caretakers of children. That's why most of these disasters, when they happen, they find the fathers out of the house, and then the mothers get affected with their children. The Kitezi issue is a very good example of that. A lot of the people who died were mothers and their children, while the fathers and the male youth had run out already early in the morning to look for jobs.
Right.
Yes.
And now, Father Hilary, I see that all this is something that you're doing. I see the goal in mind. And just explain to us a little bit of how this aligns to your mission as Caritas.
Yes. You know, the entire vision of Caritas is from John chapter 10, verse 10, to give a life to its fullness. We give, like Jesus said, I have come so that they may have life and have it in its fullness. And that's what Caritas stands for, to give people life and to have it in its fullness. So this mission, this aligns very much with our vision and mission, because when we help others with food, with education, with healthcare, with other things that make them full human beings, actually we have given them life to its fullness. Yes.
Very nice. Let's go about the dinner that happened yesterday. Tell us the primary purpose of the child support dinner.
Yes. When we designed this program, Child Care and Emergency Relief, of course, we are addressing that challenge of inadequate funding, or the funds that cannot afford us to do other alternative things that is, especially the emergencies that occur to us. Other planned activities where we write proposals for 1 year, 2 years, and you get the funding, those are easy because they take their time. But these emergencies don't have a plan, they just occur. So we have to create a fund that is available where whenever something happens, we just pick the funds, send them where they're supposed to go, or send them the items that people need at a given time. So we created 6 strategies that we are going to use to raise these funds. And the dinner, which also launched the program this year, is just one of them. But the other five, I can also explain them. One, there is planned giving. So planned giving has been designed in such a way that we are looking for people of a good heart, people who understand that today it's another person, but tomorrow it might be them, who can contribute 60,000 Uganda shillings spread out through the year. You can give 5,000 per month. You can give 15,000 per quarter, per 3 months. You can give 60,000 in a row, and then you complete your package, or whatever you want to give us. So that is one, and we are looking we are already carrying on registration of people who would like to be members to this planned giving platform. We are happy that we have started getting. We already have over 200 that have subscribed, and some started way back as at the mid this year. But then we are also getting new ones. So we are inviting all of you. And 60,000 is something that you can eat, not even in one day, but in one meal. Or if you are a beer taker, it's just a couple of beers. So when you give it in a year, you are really getting something. Two, the other aspect is the dinner. So with the dinner, we mobilize, we sell cards, we invite people, people come. And it's not just a dinner, it's creating a new family coming together. There is another organization where I belong, and we have worked together with the same community. Of course, new ones come, but you can see the joy behind this thing for the last 20 years. So which means Caritas Uganda is creating a new family of friends, of donors, of people who will meet now and then, connect, network, and develop that relationship of not just anything else, but supporting other people through. So that's the dinner. 3, we are also going to be having a run every year. We are planning in the month of early August to be running. So, which means that every person associated to Caritas, there are those who have benefited through Caritas since they were born. There are those who are benefiting now. There are those who just love Caritas. There are those who will be new friends to Caritas. So all of us shall buy the kits and then early in the morning start running to be healthy, but also to raise some funds to support the children, to support this entire program. Then we have the Lenten Collection Mission, which we will always be launched on Ash Wednesday. And people will be encouraged to save that money. Then at the end, they will be depositing that money to our account. And we have other ways of saving that money. We shall be training communities on how to do that. Because during Lent, we are supposed to fast, we are supposed to pray, and we are supposed to give alms. But when giving alms, it is better we give coordinated alms.
Yes.
That is what is going to make more sense. But it's also not that you save the money, and then at the end of the Lenten period, you pick out your savings and you go to feast on it. Then that will not make sense out of your Lenten saving. For the other aspect we are also doing is the direct child sponsorship. So individuals who are interested in seeing other children getting education, especially we have so many children from other, especially from the eastern region, and from Karamoja, and from other parts, even within the central. Children are not going to school, not because they don't want, not because UPE is not there, but sometimes there are basic things you must have, and sometimes they don't have them. But also, when you are educating a person to benefit from something, that person needs the whole package, full education, a good education, to go to a good school.
Yes.
Those schools where you never went, or those schools where you don't send your children, why should you send other people's children there because you are helping?
So when you're giving, you're supposed to give wholeheartedly.
You give wholeheartedly and really know that you are giving to make somebody make a difference. So, you know, because today I'm here, but my education was because other people helped me. And when you help only your children, when you go to church, it is not your children that are going to preach to you. It is other children who have been supported by other people. When you go to the hospital, it is not your children that are going to treat you. It is other people who are going to treat you, and you don't know how they achieved their education. So I think we must come out of the selfish motives sometimes and open up and also help those who need the help. So because we don't know that they may be the ones to save our lives in times to come. So individuals who would like to sponsor children or to support children in other schools will come to us, and then they give us the funds, and then we pay these school fees to the children in a coordinated way. Yes. The other aspect also, we are inviting those who have schools, the proprietors of schools, to give bursaries through Caritas, so that when we manage these bursaries, we support these children very well. Again, my appeal is that when you give a bursary, don't say I'm giving a half bursary, because these are vulnerable children. They don't have anyone else to help them. Now, when you give half bursary, when is the other half? Where is the other half going to come from? So we are appealing that those who give bursaries, give full bursaries. Those who are supporting, give good support. And these children will come back and be your children in one way or another, but also take care of us in the future. Then the other aspect is the emergency appeals. Because now we are building a strong database where all contacts will be. So when an emergency occurs and we don't have funds, we shall run an appeal like in 1 day or 2, and whatever we gather is what we shall run with to support the other people. And finally, of course, the children in schools, you are not an exempt from this program because the little you have. So we are planning to design a candlelight prayer campaign. So on that day, we would like to have all the children, wherever they are, to light a candle and pray for other children who are suffering. And to light a candle, of course, you buy that candle, and that little money you pay for that candle comes back to Caritas to support other children, because we are all together in this thing. So those are the activities that we plan to do every year to raise funds to support the program. With this program, initially, for sponsorship, starting 2025, we are sponsoring 380 children. So we don't have the funds yet, but this stems from the Catholic Church, where faith where the Catholic Church is the epitome of faith. So we believe that through faith and hard work we shall get these funds, but of course with your support.
Surely. Those are very, very engaging and yet very activities that cut across the board. I like the fact that you've incorporated each and everyone else there can get involved. The children, the older people, the dinners, the runs. I mean, all these activities, I feel like if you can't participate in one, there is definitely one that you can get involved in.
Certainly.
Yes, and I see the mind, the thought process, which is very, very brilliant. I just kind of want to ask, this is basically designed for all stakeholders, right? And there is nothing like specifically this is for so-and-so, for this, or this event is basically for so-and-so.
No, this is like a broad-based program. And again, it comes, a good example is COVID-19. When COVID-19 hit us, it was for everyone. Whether you had money or not, you were not safe.
Right.
And I believe even those who had money died earlier than those who didn't have. You know, we just can't know when an emergency will occur and how it will occur and what we need. I remember I was in Luero, and before we know, it's good that we had a warehouse, and we had stocked 50 tons of maize, and we pulled all the 50 tons of maize, made maize flour, and started using, of course, going through the protocols of the government. We were allowed to distribute this food to our people who were dying in the house, even those you would never expect. So, and that's why we think that this program is for everyone, because also benefiting is for everyone.
Right.
Yes.
Right. What struck me amongst the activities or the events that you've planned out is the involvement of children too, in that the candlelight prayer that they'll be praying. Why do you think it is important for children to get involved in such programs?
You know, I visited one time, I have a friend in the US who invited me, and they were running a school. When I went there, he made me move class by class to greet the children, and then he told me, and then he would ask, "Father is here, where do you think he's coming from?" They said, "From Africa." And then he asked, "What do you know about Africa?" The children started saying, they have no food.
Oh.
Then he was asking, "What should we do for Father?" Then they answered, "We should help him, we should collect money and give him to take to the children in Uganda." And they asked them, how will you collect the money? The children said, we will get, from one of the child said, I'll get the money that had been given for Holy Communion, and I'll pick some and give. Another one said, I'll get from my pocket money and I give. So our European and American friends have taught their children to give.
Right.
Unfortunately, we have taught our children to beg. And it's really dangerous for us. So we think that through this program, we shall also continue to help the children. But also by doing the candlelight prayer, is for them to know that there are other children who are dying. They need to pray for them, those who have died, those who are going hungry without food, those who are not in school, those who are in the refugee camps, those who have been struck by whatever diseases. So if those children have that now, then the spirit of giving will grow, and even when they grow up, they'll be better people who can also help others.
Right.
Yes.
So it's also igniting and developing their other side, their emotional side, to be compassionate, to think about the rest, to learn how to give.
Exactly.
And it also ignites their faith, you know.
True.
I think it's very, very important that actually children get involved in some of these activities, especially activities that are also helping other children out there.
Right.
One of the things that also struck me about this program is that most of the support is actually being mobilized within or locally. Why is that so?
Yeah, we are mobilizing these funds locally because I already mentioned that our external funders are also facing tougher problems than we are even facing. They are in war. They are also having disasters. We are lucky we don't have hurricanes. They are having hurricanes. We don't get wildfires. They are getting wildfires. We don't get those strong winds. I don't know what they are, tsunamis. They are getting tsunamis. And we find ourselves still more there in winter. We don't have winter. Sometimes when it is summer, it is extremely hot. We don't get summer. But then we are open-handed begging them. Sometimes I feel ashamed to ask them. Actually, we should be the ones giving them, you know. I know Uganda is called the Pearl of Africa. So if Uganda is the Pearl of Africa, then we should be the ones actually helping others when it comes to matters of, because we are living in a better part of the world compared to everyone else. Two, they have, I've read another book, a book by a lady called Bloom, and she wrote that the problem why Africa is highly dependent on Europe and other developing countries or developed countries is because we have stagnated on thinking that others, I mean, it's a sure deal that Europe and America and other countries will give us funding.
Will come to the rescue.
It's like a sure deal. So whenever we get a problem, the first thing is like, let's write a proposal. To where? To Denmark, to Germany, to Norway, or to wherever. So we never think that, let me go to my neighbor, or let's go to, you know. So we want to change that mind. The mindset has to change to know that actually we have all the resources we need to support ourselves. Okay, I'm not saying they shouldn't help, but that should be an external support. Actually, even Pope Paul VI mentioned that in one of his encyclicals, that while external organizations and countries can help, but Africans should also find ways of helping themselves. That was re-echoed in another document, you know, again by I think, Pope Benedict. And so we must start thinking positively about what we are doing.
It is. It is very important that we change our attitudes towards not running for solutions elsewhere, but we being the solutions ourselves to our own problems. I think that is very important there. That comes a lot with mindset change and making sure that, you know, people have the right attitudes towards solving problems and towards things like giving. Now, when we talk about giving, of course, we talk about funds, we talk about, I know the Catholic Church is a very dependable when it comes to things like transparency and accountability. What are some of the measures that you've put in place to make sure that the funds raised are actually put in a very transparent way?
Yeah, thank you very much. Number one, we have made a clear disaggregation of the funds from the donors, from the other countries, and the funds that this is local program is totally a new, sort of a new department, I would say.
Yes.
With a new staff, with their staff and the coordinator, the accountants, and everyone else that they need to do the work. So that is a strategy that we have put in place, segregation. Number two, we are also, these funds are not going to be spent by Caritas Uganda because we are not direct implementers. We are following what we call the principle of subsidiarity. By doing so, we have a committee that has been created by each region having a representative of that committee. So the Kampala Ecclesiastical Province, all the central region, has a representative. One of the directors of Caritas was selected by other directors to be on this committee. Tororo Ecclesiastical Province, which is predominantly the eastern region, the same. Gulu Ecclesiastical Province, also, which is Lira, Nebi, Arua, and Gulu itself also have a representative. And Mbarara Ecclesiastical Province also has the same. So we have 4 people from those regions. On top of those 4, then we have 3 women that have been chosen on this committee, and then of course the administrative team, of which I represent now. So this committee, of course, we also have a team of volunteers, all that are part of us, because these volunteers actually are the ones helping us to even raise these funds and to spread the word. So this is a committee that will always sit to decide how this money has to be given out. Right. Thirdly, in the selection criteria of the beneficiaries also, different communities will raise their proposals through the resident Caritas organizations in the various dioceses. Like in Kampala, they go to Kampala Archdiocese Caritas, the Caritas of Kampala Archdiocese. They don't come to us. Tororo, they go to Tororo. Jinja, they go to Jinja. Arua, they go to Arua. We have 19 dioceses. So those who want to benefit from these funds should start from their diocese. They communicate. That can be quick, a quick communication, because now with the internet, you just fill the form or you inform, and then the dioceses will help. The director of Caritas will approve in that diocese and then get a recommendation from the bishop of that diocese. Then they will submit the proposal here, and then the committee will sit, depending on the availability of funds, approve the project or reject the project if it is not a genuine one, because that also will be looked into. and then that's how we are going to. And then after we've given funds, we use the same procedure also to collect the reports, and then every year we shall be, during the dinner, we shall be accountable to our donors.
Okay.
And we produce the reports.
I see it's they're very clear guidelines on transparency and accountability there. The beneficiaries. Are the beneficiaries mostly, as you earlier on said, mostly children and women? And then I'm just wondering, someone in the community there may want to participate. How does the community help in the success of this very program?
Yeah, the beneficiaries, yes, are directly, the direct beneficiaries are children and women.
Yes.
But of course, as I mentioned, when you bring, for example, food, unless it is really, really, really children's food, mm-hmm. But if it is not, like if it is general food, mm-hmm. I'm sure the families will also, the other children in the family, the father, the mother will also enjoy part of the meal. If it is clothing, maybe, but when it comes to school, school is predominantly for children.
Right.
Yeah. So because this is really something intended for that. The other programs for development, people will get them from our development section.
Right.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So, but now, what we are trying to say, because we want in the involvement, we are creating a family of donors. So, and now that we have spread all this, even whoever thinks is a beneficiary can as well be a donor, mm-hmm. depending on how everything is looked at,
right.
and the availability of funds from mm-hmm. those communities. Mm-hmm. Yes, but that's the structure we have set.
Right. And so that's the way communities can actually also help in the success of these programs.
Yes. What we though want to encourage the communities to do is to make sure that when they choose, when we are selecting children, some people are very interesting. We have one program where when we made an offer, somebody comes to Kampala, picks a child who has parents, brings the child to the village as a grandmother. They approve the child, we pick on the child to be on the sponsorship program. After one term, then the mother comes and says, I'm taking my child back. So we wouldn't like to see things like that. If somebody has been selected for the program, let us endure, trust the process, leave the child in the program. The program will help this child up to where they can, manage.
Yes.
So we have other programs that have been mm-hmm. successful, we have implemented. Mm-hmm. So up to now, there is a program, we call it Cove Alliance. This is a program that started 19 years ago. But today we have 38 medical nurses and midwives. We have somebody becoming a doctor soon. We have other teachers, other people who have taken on other trades. We have accountants. We have a team of 8 and 9 people who have gone through this program and now as living their good life. Right. They have started families and they are doing well. So I think it's about trusting the process.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It is surely about trusting the process, and there's so many benefits that come with these programs, especially like you said, it is the primary beneficiaries could be the mothers and the children, but ultimately you see that it's spread out to the families and then communities at large. But rolling out such programs are a little bit cumbersome, and you will have several challenges. What are some of the challenges that you anticipate in these programs, and how are you going to counteract these challenges that come with them?
Yeah, one of the challenges is the resistance. And of course, we are in an environment of resistance. So, and resistance is normal,
right,
because people fear to go where they don't know. And our job is to open up and train them as much as possible.
Right.
So our team here is, we are training our team right now, and our team will spread and train people at different levels. But also, the second thing that we are also looking at, the other challenge that we are looking at, is the challenge of trust. Will our funds be safe? You know? And I want to convince everyone, if the Europeans who don't know about us,
yes,
have trusted us for the last 50 years, and this is the first time, yes, we are coming to you as our local brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
I think that trust will come with time. When they see the success, they'll trust more. Right. Every day will be a day of building trust. Yes. Then maybe the other challenge is also to motivate people, because these are so many activities every year.
yes,
And to keep motivating them, that is another challenge. But I'm sure every year will be a learning moment for us.
right,
And that learning moment, again, will give us we shall find solutions on how to address the challenges of the time.
nice. Father Hilary, we have dug into a lot of the nitty-gritties about the programs. You could actually just give us your final remarks and encourage someone out there to actually get involved in this program.
Thank you very much. As I conclude, I want to thank Uctv for giving us this moment, but also for the gift we received yesterday from Uctv. They are going to be airing our programs all the time. We shall be working together very much to promote this program. But secondly, for our viewers, is to know that this program has been well thought through, and with no selfish motives, but with full awareness of what is existing in our country. We know that the government and the other institutions have put structures, but of course there is no you can't say that we have all the structures. So we always compliment on the work of the government, and we shall continue to do that. We also appeal for everyone to be part of this program. The little contribution you make will really make a difference. Sometimes we want the difference to occur in our lifetime. That is something we must think about. If we are going to pick a child from P1, don't expect that child to be your doctor in the second year of P1 or in P2. So let's trust that in God's time, good things will happen. But of course, for emergencies, we are very, very now we trust that with these funds, whenever we get an emergency or something that has happened, we shall be there in real time because we shall have the resources. People have been coming to us, people have been writing to us, but of course we couldn't dig into the funds of the donors to do something else that has just happened. That is the reason why we couldn't. And that's the reason why we have created this fund, to be able to address these issues. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much, Father Hilary. Thank you for making time. And we definitely will be supporting Caritas in any other ventures, really. And it has been really nice having you as we discuss some of these issues. Make sure that you are involved in these events or these programs in regards to Caritas. One way or the other, you're changing a life of a child, when you change the life of a child, you're changing an entire generation. You may not see it in your lifetime, but it will definitely make a difference, however small.
Just one more word. I want to thank so much each and everyone who came for the dinner yesterday. The room was full to capacity, and we really raised good funds, and the program will start. Of course, we are very, very happy, and those who contributed, may God fill your pockets once again, and please give again and again. There are three things I mentioned yesterday, and I would like to conclude with them.
Right.
One is that when we give, number one, God grants us longer life, and that's true. Two, when we give, we become healthier and wealthier. We become wealthier because we have space to receive more, because we have given. So we have space to receive more.
Yes.
So then we'll be wealthier. And when we give, we also, God counts on our times of giving, how many times we have responded to the needs of others, and also we have a reward in the eternal kingdom.
Nice.
Yes.
A very nice way to conclude the show. Thank you so much, Father Hilary.
Thank you so much.
Well,
Yes.
and thank you so much for watching. It has been nice having you. I am Nora Sende. Until next time, we'll see you next Sunday. For now, do have yourself a lovely evening and a good week ahead.